garages were constructed. And again, for the third point, the applicant has addressed that in attachment 4, and zoning administration has no comments for that. With that, zoning administration recommends that the Board of Zoning Appeals carefully review the variance request and provide a finding of fact pursuant to section 164-161A3A123 to either approve or approve the conditions or disapprove the applicant's request. And that completes staff's report, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Side yards. As opposed to front, but everything, nothing faces the front. It's all back and side.
Can I ask, may I ask a
Yes,
question?
Does anyone, does the board attorney have any questions for Mark?
I have questions. So, the corner lot,
Corner lot.
2 front yards,
Yes,
30-foot setback for the garage. But didn't you say that it says that a garage, and I can't find the exact language, a garage can only be in the side or the rear yard? Is the garage in the side or rear yard, or is it in the front yard?
in this case, the variance would be the front yard, so so it would be in the front yard.
There'll be a variance, okay,
Yeah.
to the location as well as
the
setback.
All right, now you got me confused a little. Let me make sure I'm clear.
Wants to explain some stuff?
We'll get to that. We just want to make sure we're clear up here first, and I'm sure you can help clarify.
Okay.
And I have to swear you in first before we start. But right now, we're just talking back to Mark, which is fine. Mark, looking at that part of the paragraph, it says, provided that the garage is within the side yard requirements of the zone within which the lot is classified. That's the part I think Karen was referring to. So that we're all clear.
Yeah, it says may be located anywhere to the side or rear of the main building, not yard. It is located to the rear of the main building. So again, you add the language yard or setback. It doesn't state that, it just states may be located anywhere to the side or rear of the main building. And the proposed garage is.
So keep going, provided that the garage is within the side yard requirements of the zone. So as long as it meets the side yard setback is what you're saying?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. So I
Okay.
kind of thought too.
And that it does.
yes.
Okay.
I just had a point of information for Mark. In terms of the zoning ordinance, what I'm reading here is essentially, even though we're talking about an alley here, Winter's Alley, the alley setback requirements are the same as the street.
Yes, it's still a public way. It's a corner, this is a corner lot with 2 front yards.
Okay,
Yes.
just want to be sure. Thanks.
Again, that's why I stated typically that does occur when you have subdivisions, but primarily the lots are not corner lots, as you can imagine. They're principally interior lots, possibly through lots.
Right.
Anything else? No? Okay. All right. At this point, then we ask the applicant, Ms. D, for your presentation. And before you do that, I'd like to swear you. Are you both going to comment or just you?
Do I need to stand?
No, you can stay seated. Just raise your right hand. You swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead. It's on you.
Well, basically, to keep it relatively simple, the 3 points that I guess we need to defend or make a case for. The first one, the exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applying to the property that would entitle us to this variance, I guess. I would say the biggest issue there is the fact that we've already permitted and built the foundation slab and side walls of this building back in, I think it was between 2008 and 2010. So that was properly permitted. It was approved by the city of Westminster according to the county records. And I have that in your packet, copies of those permits and approvals.
Can I stop you there for a
Sure.
second? I also wanted then to question Mark, because there was comment was made that, if I read it right, the zoning administration cannot speak to how or why the initial phase, foundation, footers, and slab were approved.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything that really explained.
So
other
nothing
than-
came back to you from the county, I guess, is what you're saying?
Well, typically what happens when a permit comes through for development, they do forward it to the city for review and approval. Nobody on staff was here at the time, nor can you find any documentation from that long ago in the county system.
Huh.
We did find as title with the permit, it did not include the actual structure. It was for the slab, a foundation and a retaining wall, but was not for a future garage, but did not approve the actual garage itself. So you can do a slab, I can do a core slab on my property without a variance if I want to put in the front side or rear yard. I can do a retaining wall on my property without worrying about setback standards, because they're not accessory structures by definition. The garage is the accessory structure that needs the variance.
Okay.
My hope would be that that's why it's the permit has an additional letter B. That typically means there were revisions to it. So I can only assume that maybe they did submit for the actual garage itself, but we're told we can't approve the garage this time, but we can approve the slab, foundation and retaining wall, and hence the change of the permit status. But again, whether that was correct or not, I don't want to speak to,
Okay.
but it is true, they do have a permit and that is accurate.
Is that basically your understanding?
Yes, yeah, and that's a little bit more complicated than we had assumed when we put it on and it said future garage. We just assumed that obviously a garage was gonna go on the slab.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this business, a lot of assumptions go different ways.
That's why we're here. But anyway, so that is existing.
Right.
And at the time, I know this is probably, it's not provable or verifiable, but we were told that Tim was the one who was dealing with all the construction. He was basically told by, I don't know, county inspector or city inspector?
The zoning people told me just,
Would have been county inspectors.
Yes,
right, but I thought that it was the zoning people that told me to just make it the same as everybody else around.
in your neighborhood, and you'll be fine. So not that that's any
And
kind of
I
an
can't remember
official,
the person's name,
but
but that's what they told me.
but anyway, so it is there and it's,
You should swear him. Yeah. If you're going to comment, I have to swear.
Okay.
So we might as well do this the right way.
yeah,
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
so that's the extraordinary circumstances, unusual circumstances, special conditions that apply to this application. The second point, enjoyment of the property rights possessed by other properties in the same zone or vicinity. Our lot is only like about 70 feet wide. So if you go from Manchester Street all the way to downtown on Winters Alley, what you have on is the rear end of all the Main Street facing buildings and the businesses. So that side of Winters Alleys is dumpsters and parking lots, and there's a few garages, more than a few. And then on the other side are more residential buildings, but they face Church Street or they face Ralph Street, right? And our side yard is really what is adjacent to Winters Alley.
Right.
And so the people that do have residents that do have garages, access through Winters Alley, it's really coming in the side. We're not driving past the front of our house to get to the rear of our garage. We're coming down Winters Alley and then hanging a left into our garage. Now there's maps and stuff I've included that sort of highlight where the neighbors' garages are and all that in the exhibits. If you want to take a look at it and where our garage sits on our property. But the block, I guess that would be east and west of where we are. There are 5 garages and they average a setback of 9 feet 2 inches. And I guess the last point about how this would impact neighbors or the businesses surrounding us, really, there's only one person that's potentially impacted in any way. Like I said, all around us is parking lots and dumpsters and, but our rear lot, the rear of our lot is adjacent to the rear of Chris McMaster's lot. And her garage is in the back of her property, and our garage would be built, hopefully, basically 15 feet next,
From her garage.
from her garage.
Right.
So we would be entering our garages, they would be like twins. And hers would be in her backyard, ours would be in our backyard. And she submitted an email, I think, to Mark, and it's copied in your packet.
Right.
That she has no objection to us building that garage. In fact, she would like it because it would be a sound barrier. But that's great. So those are pretty much the basics. All around us are similar garages. If we were to, considering that alley being a front yard, facing that alley being a front yard, it's hard to imagine living there because the lot is only 70 feet wide about. So to go 30 feet back and then have the setback from the back, there would be no room to put a garage really. And I don't know what we would do with that 30 feet in front of our garage that's facing an alley. So I don't know.
Can you help me understand, looking at that slab
Mhm.
that's pictured here and with the attachment that you sent?
Sure.
Where's the front of the garage? Where's the garage door? And is it right to the front edge of that slab or is it sit further back?
9 feet back.
9 feet back from the front of that slab,
No.
front edge of that
No.
slab,
From the street.
from the street.
Yes.
Winter's Alley.
Winter's
So
Alley.
there's an apron that's 9 feet.
All
and
right,
then-
so the 9 feet that's pointed out there is to the front edge of that slab, basically speaking.
To the
Is that
front,
right?
to the doors.
To the doors.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, on this one, right?
right. Do you have anything else you want to add at this point?
If you have any questions, I'm certainly open to answering anything you might have. I don't really know what else.
You
I can
got
say.
some questions in as much as you're,
No, I think I've got it. Now that you told me which the entrance was, that's what I was looking for. I was like, okay, which side are we going in on?
I have a question. It's shown here as a 2-story garage. What would be on the second floor?
Right now, nothing. It's basically storage.
Storage.
Yep.
So you don't anticipate kittying up for a apartment or anything like that?
No, to be honest, I talked to Mark about doing that and that involved a lot of, it's just not worth it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And we would do something, a gym maybe, or something personal for us, exercise equipment, I don't know.
Okay.
But mainly storage, and I can get it out of my attic.
board have any other questions?
That's it from my perspective.
No, I don't have any additional. One. Can I just make
Yes,
one
ma'am.
comment or question? On Carroll County parcel inquiry, it says proposed garage with 9-foot variance, but it's really a 21-foot variance, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make
The
sure.
variance would be for 21 feet to be 9 feet away, yes.
So the variance is 21 feet, not 9 feet. I just want to make sure.
Good point. Okay, if there's no further testimony, we can close testimony at this time. Board, have any discussion?
No, I mean, I know a lot of the properties are in a similar situation in that area of Westminster that want to build garages and sheds, so I don't have any issues with these questions.
I would just point out on the map, I think that you submitted with the various other garages on them. I mean, pretty much you're not asking for anything that other people don't already have existing in terms of setbacks on their garages. So
Exactly.
I think it's quite reasonable.
The 9 feet 2 that you came up with, taking that average, is that how you arrived at that 9-foot setback, or is that an actual measurement, or 21 now as we decided?
No, that was kind of a coincidence.
Okay,
Yeah, and I'm sure you're well aware, those, when we had the lot surveyed, technically, like our property line ended up in the middle of Winter's Alley. And they're not exactly perfect, those maps. So I don't know why the extra 2 inches showed up there, but that could have,
right.
Don't say that too loud. You'll be responsible for cleaning the street.
I already do actually.
Right? Just don't tell them.
How long, I'm just curious, how long have you been there?
Well, we built it in 2008.
We moved in 2008.
Yeah.
From 2007 to 2000.
You didn't build the home in two. Oh, you built the home then? Oh, I assumed it was one of the older homes.
We went to great lengths to make it fit in.
You sure
Local.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
I will make a motion to approve moving forward with a variance of 21 feet.
Second.
All in favor? Aye,
Aye.
unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Good job in presenting your information, and I love what you're doing with it.
Well, if you ever want to buy it, let me.
After the garage.
Yeah.
I'm on the other end of my retirement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess it's.
We have to adjourn.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we
Okay,
have-
there's.
Being there's no other business,
July.
Oh, I was
we are
gonna say-
adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're just, this is the warm up to